Good luck.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Game Addicts podcast, the show where we talk about the video games, modern and retro, that we play and collect. I am your host, Brando. Of course, joining me today, for the first time in a couple of weeks,
Yes.
this podcast player, to Mike.
Oh, hello.
This is episode 40.
Yes.
We have officially reached, the big 4-0.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of podcasts don't make it past 10.
It's true. It's very
Over
true.
on Journey to Comics, of course, we are going to be celebrating 150.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, and hopefully, this podcast will reach that as well. Today, folks, we have some news, we have some pickups, we have some things to talk about. We did take we took like a week off, because really, there's kind of been a lull in some news, and then the last episode we did a retrospective. I don't like to do two retrospectives right in a row.
Right.
I like to try and let's do one, and then let's kind of come back and hit what's going on right now if we can. And then if we have pickups, and of course, if I was collecting like I was 2 years ago, I'd have pickups every episode. I would do a pickup almost a month, like a pickup video back on the old Journey to Comics YouTube channel, where I would have 25 to 30 video games for the entire month.
Right.
And so literally, if we were doing this podcast back then, like I originally wanted to do, we would have that. However, I'm not currently buying,
but I am.
So
I'm always in the market.
We do get to have some pickups. Mine over here are not this. This is for something later. We're going to be talking about some Genesis stuff, so I brought some games. But
yes.
You actually picked up some games. And what
did.
was funny is that you sent me a text. And you said that since the girls are hanging out at my house, I'm going to go to Discreet Play. And I responded with, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
And what was my response?
I was
There's not much that you wouldn't do at a game store.
So you went in, and then you said, what was it, like $100 later?
Yeah, I said $100 later, the bug hit me. Actually, I would say majority of what is here, excluding Riddick, I had in my hand. And I got to 9. And I was like, oh, crap. I got to get more.
Yeah, because if you buy 5, you get one free.
Right. So I was at the point where I was like, man. And the stuff that I got for free was, $5. But it's still free $10 worth of stuff.
Exactly. Like that time that I went, and you were there when I did my first big gaming haul. When I bought 50 games in one day, and I bought 7 systems. I went ahead, and that day, doing that every 5th game, it saved me a lot of money that day.
It did. So I have a few pickups. One that I already have, which is the Amiibo, but I refuse to open Amiibos. That's just me. I like them as they're collecting items. Now I am really looking for the cards, because the cards do the same thing, and I've missed a couple of opportunities to pick up all of the cards.
Okay.
The cards do the same thing the Amiibos do, but you don't have to open an Amiibo. You don't have an Amiibo. It's just a little card. So this guy showed up. This is the Smash Brothers Link. They literally brought it in 5 minutes, and I was there. And he said it before he even put it in the counter. I was like, "Don't put that up. Just put that in my pile." And he kind of laughed. He's like, "I thought you collected these." And I said, "I do, but I refuse to take them out." So I'm going to try this out. I haven't tried it out yet. I've been stuck on another game. But anyways, so another big thing that happened. I had a choice. Somebody turned in all the .hack signs.
Yeah.
I'm in the market collecting these. The last 2 are expensive. They had the third one there, or the fourth one was $75. And it was buy that.
Buy all that.
Or buy all this that I currently have. So I went with buying everything else, not the hacks. But I did pick up Infection. It's the first one. The big thing for me is that these DVDs are there. That's the biggest portion of these.
I remember you found one down south and
Yeah.
didn't have the DVD with it.
Yes,
So
but it was 4. or 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one that's like $200, and didn't have a DVD. And I told the guy, I was like, well, I'm not buying that. I would have if it had it. Like, I've never seen it in person. And he's like, oh, it's still worth that. It's like, it's not complete, so really not. But anywho, The Hack Infection Part 1. It's a 4-part trilogy. This is a 4-part. I almost said trilogy.
I know.
4-part. It was coming, and I saw myself.
How's that 4-part saga?
But if you look at this guy was a collector. He turned all his stuff in to buy a Switch.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah. So look at how good of a copy that is.
Yeah, he took care of it.
And he brought it in there, and he put it all down. He's like, yeah, I just went to Switch, but I'll probably be back to buy them. Little does he know, they're all gone.
Oh, man.
It's in good condition. I was hurting to pick up that one. I really wanted it, but there was a couple games that they had that I've been looking for, and I wanted to buy it. So I was another purchase I made, Gran Turismo for the PSP. I'm a big Gran Turismo fan. I have to admit, I don't like this game. I played it through a couple of races. It doesn't have a career mode.
Really?
You just buy the cars, you race them. I haven't even seen that many upgradable parts for it. I was very upset. So it's still a Gran Turismo. It's a good game. The handling, all the stuff on it is great, and it's great to have a portable. Anything portable is great.
Yeah.
But there's no real active career mode.
That's crazy that they don't have that, man.
So I was upset, but it's still a great game.
Also, one thing that I miss in manuals, the notes.
That you can write your own notes.
Yeah, I've never written notes. This is not a very big manual at all.
No. But yeah, so it's a good game. But I really like the career mode. I really like building up your cars and stuff like that. Like the very first car I purchased was the NSX.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of the mid to end game cars that you would pick up, and it's not even fun. I destroy everybody with it. So
this has a reversible cover.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of cool.
Smack me in the face with it.
What? Yeah, but
it's not really reverse. I mean, it is.
You can because of the
the logo in the center.
The spine. You could really change that around if you wanted to.
Yeah, but
you know what?
It's cool. But
I have reversible covers on some of my games, and I still don't turn them around.
Yeah.
Because I want them to look uniform for the most part with the games.
Right.
That I have.
So the other one I bought, another PSP game, is Dungeons and Dragons Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So this game is pretty in depth. It took me like 35 minutes to create my character. Because you have to pick his skill sets. I mean, everything. You have to divvy out all his points. It's a tactics game. It's fun.
Yeah.
But the whole level is set up tactics style. So it's more like Fire Emblem.
Okay.
It's very similar to a Fire Emblem game. It's fun. All I have to say is that if you ever do pick this up, make sure that there's an elf in your party that can see in the dark. Because I fought a guy I couldn't even see. And he about killed me. But it's an interesting game. It's fun. But it was one of those that I've never seen before in person.
We also have a guest on the show today.
Yes, Padfoot, my dog. My German Shepherd. You'll see him.
Probably, if not hear him.
Yes, you'll hear him. So, I'm a big Tales fan.
Yeah, you finally picked up the Tales of Grace's F.
Yes, F. They had it there. So I picked it up. I just made sure it worked. I have a big problem when I start a Tales game. I get about halfway through now, and I have too many RPGs to play. And the main one that I was looking for, I got. Mm-hmm. I've been looking for it for a while now. Let's see how long I've been looking for it.
2014, 15?
I think it's a 14 game. I don't see a date. I don't see the date. I don't. Maybe you can find it. Anyways.
Continue talking.
Yes. Tales of Grace's F. if you've played any of the Tales series, it's very similar to every other Tales game, different storyline. It's a really interesting game. Like I said, I have yet to start it. I got Battleborn. This doesn't have very good reviews, but I always wanted to try it out.
And it's pretty cheap for you.
It's pretty cheap. You know, I paid $7 for it, and I just love the back of it. 25 badass heroes. So yeah, I tested it out, made sure it worked. Haven't really got into it. Another game I picked up, this is the one that I picked up, is the Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. And I always wanted to have this game because I like the stealth style games, but never really picked it up. I picked it up. I have yet to dive into it yet.
I've heard it's really good. I've actually heard good things about it.
But it is supposed to be a good game.
That is a October 27th, 2016 release.
Really?
You're
For this one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what it says right here. That is not the one that you thought it was. That is the new one.
Oh. Well, I'm not going to complain because I wanted it anyways.
But we'll get to that. I actually have something to say about that.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our guest?
This is Riddick the Sky Soldier. This was released on the Wii U, and this was originally, I want to say this is made by the guy who created Nights into Dreams.
I believe so.
And so, the next game that he was going to make, or he was going to be kind of like a spiritual successor, I guess, to Nights, would be this game, and it was in development for the Wii.
Yes.
But it got delayed, and it finally came out for the Wii U. Cool thing about it, when you buy this,
You get both copies.
you get both the Wii U and the Wii. And you can actually, the cover is also reversible.
Yes, and it has the Wii cover.
So to have this to complete your Wii collection,
Yeah.
you have that in here as well. Now, the one thing that I kind of wish that you could do, what is that if you want to have a copy for both collections, you'd have to get another case.
Right.
And buy another copy of the damn game.
Yeah,
but if you could find a way to scan this and get a Wii case,
Mhm.
you have the disc already.
right.
And so it's just really cool that they included that because they promised a Wii release.
Right.
And they kept that promise. I never picked it up. I always kind of wanted to, but it just was never really matched up. And I remember seeing this in there. When I got the stuff that I did. But if you had something to say about that, I just put it up.
I got it, and I knew you had something to say, so you have more information on it than I do. This game, it's not the one that I expected it to, but it is on par with what I wanted. It's a Sword Art Hollow Realization. This game is an MMO. What was that?
A yawn that I held in. You going like that? I just went. Dude, I worked 10 complete hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a let's work hard. It was a stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go.
That always drained you.
I am not falling asleep during your thing, but I'm also sitting here actively listening, listening, and I'm just wanting to yawn.
Yeah, it's all right.
Because I'm not completely and utterly talking. So complete your thought.
So this is a MMORPG, but not MMORPG. So it's not a true MMORPG. It is a spiritual MMO.
Well, the universe it's based on
is an MMO.
Is a VR. Because the anime is an MMO.
Right.
It's like they're in a game.
So this is a fantastic game. I mean, I love it because I love MMOs, but I don't have to be online. I can play at my own pace. And one of the cool things about it, and I would like for other people to get it, if we can make that possible,
I'll recommend it,
is you can play together online.
Mm-hmm.
It says up to four-player online co-op, but you can have 4 players with 4 TVs with 2 players. I believe is what it said. I'll have to read. It only says it in the game. But there's a way to have 8 players at a time for a raid.
I just yawned twice.
Oh, whatever.
No, no, seriously. Like, I yawned as I tried talking earlier, and then I'm sitting here. I just keep yawning. Now, you also are a really big fan of the universe.
Yes.
Which that takes place in, which helps you get into that. Somebody who's looking at that is thinking, oh, this is just a game based off an anime. You know, they might find something more in there that they may not know that they're looking for.
Right, and it is a great game. The only problem I have with this is the main quest is done without you interacting at all. Up to this point. I've got about 20 hours deep. I don't know how many areas there are. I haven't researched any of this game at all. I've just been playing it by myself without any help from anybody.
Well, yeah, because you thought it was the first one.
I did. But it's still a great game.
But there was no year on that, by the way. I looked.
Yeah, I thought that this was the old one, but anywho.
So think about it, because I'm talking. So it's already been priced down, which means that people have not been picking it up. They have not been buying it. So because this game came out less than a year ago, and for brand new at GameStop, it's $40.
Right. And that was at 03/30/2017.
Right. So that's like back in March when that was scanned, and probably a little bit after that when it was bought. So I mean, that's one thing about RPGs is that RPGs are out there, guys. You just gotta,
And I looked hard for this because I didn't want to pay full price for it. I would like to get the Vita version.
Now that you've played it and then you know you like it, would you pay full price for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would. At the time this came out, I didn't have it. The problem with, in our area, is that games like this are hard to find. Sword Art Online, I tried to find it brand new, and I could not find it because it only had a couple months here in town, and then I couldn't find it again. It's just, they don't release too many of these.
Or they don't ship too many copies.
Yeah, they don't ship too many copies of this because Japanese don't believe that there's an American market for this. I believe that they should just take this game and go real MMO.
Well,
true MMO.
Now here's the thing: is that if you pre-ordered it and you knew that you wanted it, you would have gotten a copy.
Right.
But then, when you're trying to hunt down a copy for it later on,
I've become a little greedy with that. Like, there's a couple games where I'm like, I want it, but I can wait. I have that thought process now. I was like, I can wait, and I check this replay because it's a mile down the road.
It's also supplied most of your gaming collection. Same as mine.
Yes.
Same as mine.
It's just a great place to go. It
Yeah.
really is. But those are my pickups, and I'm going to go ahead and do my recommendation now. I wonder what that's going to be. Sword Art Online. Hollow Realization. You guys can pick that up. It's a great game.
Awesome. Well, great pickups. I'm glad that one of us can go out actively and purchase games.
My active thing is that each podcast I would like to have some pickup because I'm slow burning. I would like to.
I'm so slow burning, but I'm really slow burning. I'm
Well,
not allowed to buy anything right now.
You did a huge boost. I'm actually up to, believe 224. And I actually have them all on here, but like 2 or 3 that I put into blank copies. 223, add 2 more to that. So 225.
There you go, man. I believe I'm still sitting at 818.
So I'm getting there. And it doesn't look like I have a lot because of the way that it's just a small section, but it's packed.
Would you, in my game room, believe that I have over 800 games the way I have it set up?
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Because I don't really feel like it is that much.
It's the vastness of your PS1 collection that holds majority of your numbers.
Well, it holds 139 of them.
That's still a large chunk for one system.
It is.
Do you have anything that's even comparable to the amount?
To that?
On a system, because you do own about every system that you care to have. Like, you don't have the Atari.
No, I don't.
You don't have the Jaguar and stuff like that. You have, your major consoles, your Sega.
Okay, so this says I have 820.
820. Well, a lot of those they only count the games that have 4 or 5 games on them. Or two games is one game.
Well, see, I also because we talked about the Game My app before, I have 2 copies of Resident Evil 2. I had to scan it twice, but it's not detecting the version of the one that I have.
Also, I did not include my multiple copies. Like, I have 2 copies of Resident Evil 2. And
Well, see, mine, I have 1 regular and 1 DualShock.
actually, you know what? I am lying to you. I do not have all my Game Boy games.
Well, don't lie to me.
I'm lying.
Okay, so it says NES, I have 66. PS1, 139. PS2, 85. PS3, 66. And then...
Oh, I do have the Game Boy games on here.
Okay, so yeah, PS2 is my second closest with what did I say it was, 80, 85?
Yeah.
And then I have 66 PS3 and 64 360. And 50 original Xbox games. That's more than I thought I had. But then, like, I only have 24 of Wii and Wii U.
Right.
You know, I have like 30-something, 38 GameCube, because it's so hard to get GameCube games, and a lot of those games that are multi-plat I get on the other systems. But anyway, we were talking about systems, and we actually talked about, not the last episode, that was the PS2 retrospective that I did with Nate. Really enjoyed doing that episode with him. By the way, since I know you don't listen to our own podcast, I did play Rib on you.
I know.
Did you?
No.
No.
I'm going to, though. Listen to it.
I played a Rib on you during the PS2 one.
Uh-oh. How bad is it? Is it what system is this?
Well, one of the games that I talked about on the PS2 was Dead to Rights. And I saved it towards the end.
Yeah.
So, like, I talked about all these badass games, and then I talked about Dead to Rights. Which, good game, but when you're, like, FF10, 12, Dragon Quest, Metal Gear, you know, all these badass PS2 games, Dead to Rights. It's like...
I still love the game.
I love the game, but it's not in that
No, it's not.
quality.
It's not in that tier quality. It's a above par game for the systems.
Yeah. So we talked about the SNES Mini, the classic.
Yes.
On the episode before last, the 16-bit Wars Part 2 revisit. I can't remember what I called it. But anyway, so there. I want to clarify something really quick. We said that it looked like you were able to use the old school SNES controllers.
We were wrong.
You can't. I saw pictures of it later on that night.
Of course.
With the flap bent over.
Ooh, hey.
The flap.
The flap,
Anyway,
baby.
I have a few pictures, and I'm actually going to show it to you. That way you can see it right there.
Yep.
And,
The Wii port's right there.
Yeah, it's the same connection as the NES Mini, because then here's like that, and they have them on up front.
Yeah.
But because it is such a different shape, they wanted to look like more like the other one. They just have it look like it. So disappointing. See, I want to say I said it looks like they're a little smaller, but I thought maybe it was just our eyes playing tricks on us. However, when you really look at them, you can definitely tell that you can't put anything in there.
Yeah.
But there has been an update on the other part of that. On the other side of that, we talked about the new Genesis.
Yes.
Retro thing, and
we have a list.
we have the list of games now. Just to update, to remind, the system is being released by Games, which
Who did the last one?
they've done the last couple, because they did the original and then they did the Mortal Kombat one, and it's that little AV mono sound.
The one that I have.
Yeah, I have it too.
You have it too.
I got it at Goodwill for a total of $9.
Yeah, Joanna bought it brand new for me.
Good gift.
It is.
This one's going to be a good upgrade, I hope. With this being Games, I'm really hoping that the quality build is better than the last one.
Yes.
The controllers look the same, but they are now 2.4 gigahertz wireless, so the same kind of technology that was in the 360 controllers. Not infrared, so much better.
Yes.
For that, but they still look kind of shitty.
Yeah.
If I could say that, and but you will be able to plug in the old controllers. So.
Right.
It's also got cartridge support. Boom, right there. Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Yep.
They, It's not going to be 100% perfect. Virtual racing you probably won't be able to do because it's got extra chips in it. But we have 85 Genesis and SMS Game Gear favorites. Now, some of these, just like on the other versions of the Genesis, are not new games. They are like, or they're not old, just old games. They're like newer games that you don't give a crap.
But this list is significantly better.
All right, so I'm just going to read through them, and some of them are going to be crap. But Adventure in the Park, Air Hockey, Alex Kidd in the High-Tech World, or in High-Tech World, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle, Alex Kidd, The Lost Star. Then you have Alien Storm, Altered Beast, Arrow Flash, Baku Baku Animal, Bomber, Bonanza Bros, a game that I just traded in. I never played it, and I tried it, and it's not a game that I ever had when I was a kid. It was a game I got in a bundle.
Right.
But I knew it was worth a little bit of something.
Right.
And I wanted this Final Fantasy Grids.
Yeah.
So, or maybe that was for Skies of Arcadia. I don't remember one of those.
Skies. It's for Skies.
Bottle Taps Race, Break the Fire Line, Bubbles Master, Cannon, Chakan, The Forever Man, Chess, Columns 3, Comic Zone,
Yes.
Crackdown. Don't know. It's not the Crackdown that we know.
Yeah.
From Modern. It's Crack Space Down. Curling 2010. Decap Attack, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, eSWAT, City Under Siege, Eternal Champions, Fantasy Zone.
Really?
Yeah. Fantasy Zone The Maze, Fatal Labyrinth, Fight or Lose, Fish Story, Fish Tank Live.
So
Flicky.
I want to stop you there. There's something there that I wish they would put in. No Echo the Dolphin.
I agree.
That should have been there.
I totally agree.
But continue on.
Gain Ground, Golden Axe,
Yee.
Golden Axe 2,
Yee.
Golden Axe 3,
Yee.
Hangman, Hexagonos, Jax P, P-E-A, not just Jax Urine, which would be hilarious. Jewel Magic, Jewel Master, Kid Chameleon.
That's a good game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Mahjong Solitaire, Maze 2010, Memory, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3,
That's awesome.
Mr. Balls. I have no idea if that's an actual Genesis game or not. Naval Power, Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star 3, Generations of Doom, Phantasy Star 4.
That's a big one there.
Boom. All 4 Phantasy Stars.
Yeah.
The RPG classic from the Sega Master System in the Genesis era. So the first one's on Master System, the other 3 are on Genesis.
Right.
And they have not made another core game since 4.
Right.
And, of course, if you have the some of these, I'm pretty sure a lot of them, if you have the Genesis collection on the 360 or PS3, you can get these. Plumbing Contest. Rystar. Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi. Shining Force.
Ooh.
Shining Force 2, The Agent Seal. Shining in the Darkness. Shinobi 3, The Return of the Ninja Master. Snake. Snowboarding. Sonic and Knuckles.
Here we go.
Sonic 3D Blast.
Yeah.
Sonic Chaos. Sonic Drift 2. Sonic Spinball. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic Triple Trouble.
I don't know that one.
Some of these are Game Gear titles.
Okay, so say I don't know that one.
Spider. Super Thunderblade. Sword of Vermilion. Tails Adventure. It's another Game Gear. The Ooze. Vector Man.
Yeah.
Vector Man 2. Wall Breaking, and Warehouse Keeper.
So that is a amazing. Do they have the price yet?
I did not see a price, but it's available this September.
That is a great console.
Now that's
and it has HDMI support, as we
that's
discussed.
720 HDMI output, and of course there's also the the cartridge support, which is awesome because a lot of those in there, some of them, the Fantasy Stars are starting to climb up there in price.
Yes.
So it's difficult to get some of these, especially in our area. There's not a really big, Sega anything really.
No.
More Genesis. There's a lot of Genesis. Surprising in how good the Game Gear selection is in some of our stores. No Dreamcast. No Saturn,
good luck.
no Sega CD.
They still have House of the Dead at Disc Replay.
That's been there for
$79.
It's been there for a year, and you want that's been dropped down in price. His originally was over 100.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just shows.
It might still be 109, but I'll see. I thought it was 79. They might have had another one there for 79, but that's an amazing.
I think the sheer quality of Sega games that are on this, plus the Mortal Kombat's, rival that of what's on the Super Nintendo one. Super Nintendo has heavy hitters like
Earthbound,
of course, Earthbound, the Final Fantasy, Castlevania, that kind of stuff. But
Mario RPG,
of course, Star Fox. But then this one, you have your Sonics, you have your Fantasy Stars, you have your Altered Beast, you have your Golden Axe. You have Vector Man. As you said, where's Echo the Dolphin?
I mean, Echo is, that's a Sega only. Yeah, it's not the greatest game in the world, but it is a Sega exclusive game at the time. And it's, I played the crap out of Echo.
Oh, yeah. Now, I brought along with me some of my favorite Genesis games. Now, you're asking, why don't we just do a Genesis retrospective? Because I actually, as I said, it's kind of difficult to collect. And most of my Genesis collection I've bought in a bundle.
Right.
And I have some. I picked up some loose carts here and there. I didn't bring one of my absolute favorite games in the system because when I was growing up, I had the luxury of having both an SNES and a Genesis. But that also meant that as a kid, I was trying to go back and forth between getting a game each, and you didn't get games a lot when you were a kid. At least I didn't. So I only had 5 games for the Genesis at all, other than one I could borrow from friends who had other games. And one of those games I didn't bring that I want to do a special a tier or a little side acknowledgement. I keep saying these other words other than the word that I'm looking for. Honorable mention.
There it is. I was like, what do you look for? Honorable mention?
Yes. My brain is almost jelly. Because of how much, when you're working and you don't use your brain, sometimes when you work, a lot of times what we do is very monotonous. So
yes, except for what I do now.
Robocop versus the Terminator.
Yeah.
That game was released on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, both completely different games, as I played them both. The Super Nintendo is more story-based. The Genesis version is more arcade-style based. But I played the crap out of that game.
Right.
And I love the game. Fun.
So we're going to do a top 5 on these?
Well, I grabbed 5. Here. These are some of my favorite ones in my collection. I could do more, but I decided, you know what? You have a pickups. We have some stories to talk about. Let's keep this simple. We can come back later on once we can do a full retrospective on it later, and maybe we can, if we don't own the games, we could try and check out some of our friends. I know Nate has a pretty sizable. He started getting more in Genesis. Right. I just sold him my version 1, my generation 1 Genesis. I sold it to him. The one that Disc Replay wouldn't take because it didn't have sound.
That we confirmed that it had sound?
Guess what? He took it home.
It worked fine.
Yeah, it has sound.
Surprise.
Well, he got a Genesis 3, and he didn't have a power cord for it. So he couldn't play any Genesis. So,
but those power cords aren't difficult to find.
Well, each power cord for each generation is different.
Right.
So they can be difficult to find. You can buy new ones online, but you know what? I gave him a good deal on it, and I gave him bro price.
Bro price.
And I gave him the system. I would rather it go to him anyway than to Disc Replay. No offense to those guys. I love them. I love Disc Replay. They give me good games. They always do me right. But if I can give it a good home, I would much rather do that. I'm very glad Nate has it. I still have my original Generation 2 that I got from my grandma. And I want to talk about some of the games. Some of these I played when I was a kid. Some of them I did not. This one
I know one of them you didn't.
Yes. No. This one I did play when I was a kid. I never owned it. I played it along with my friend William. This is X-Men.
It's a great game. I rented it.
Now, I got this from Veronica, which I got most of my Genesis collection from. That is, she's, of course, the co-host on Foodies Watching Movies over on the Journey to Comics channel. But she had 2 copies of X-Men. And I got one, and her good friend Wes got one.
Nice.
Good old Westicles. This game's badass.
It is a good game.
I love this game. I remember me and William, we would play Genesis. We'd play this. We'd play some Jurassic Park game a lot. But definitely going through, playing this 2-player, a lot of fun side-scroller. Beat 'em up.
Yep.
What else you got to say about it?
I only played it by myself. All I care about is being able to be Nightcrawler. That's all I cared about. And you could kind of sneak through the world, like you could just like teleport through it and then just fight the boss. And
dude, the game's hard. The game is actually
hard.
Hard. I remember I tried playing it, and I tried playing as Gambit, and I sucked. I'm playing as Wolverine, I sucked. I sucked at everybody. But this says Special Edition poster inside.
Negative. Ghost Rider.
No manual, no nothing. So, I had this game. My game came with it, but this one's a little bit special. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
One of the best games for that system.
Yes, I played this one before I played the first one.
I love
because it
the
came
Sonic
with the system, right? So, I have this. I no longer have my original box, and so I got this from Veronica in the bundle, and I was gonna sell it until I realized what does that say?
Mega Drive.
Sega Mega Drive. Doesn't say Genesis anywhere on here. So what does that mean? It plays on my system.
Yeah.
Look at this cart, dude.
That's in really good condition.
I know. Trust me. It's one reason why I didn't get rid of it, because my cart's in pretty... it says not for resale on the cart, and it's pretty rough.
It's the one that came with the system.
Yeah, it's been played. It's been played. I had 5 games for the Genesis that I owned. Sonic 2 was played. Yeah, a lot.
And there's Pat.
Hey, dog, you were trying to talk about Sega Genesis
Hello?
games. Stop scratching yourselves. No one's here.
He's like, fine, I'm going to come over here and bother you.
Oh, of course you will. Anyway, I've tried to, understand why this is Mega Drive, and I've never been able to find an answer.
Huh.
The languages here are English. It has all these different languages.
Huh.
And I don't know if this is a Canadian version. Sometimes if you... I just read this. I just found out something on the podcast. For use with PAL and French Mega Drive, SEGAM Mega Drive systems.
Huh.
This is the European version.
Huh.
More specifically, the French version. That plays on my system.
Region free?
I don't know, man. I didn't, because usually PAL games play at a different speed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a difference, so I played it and I played fine.
Hmm.
I don't know. Talk about this one next, because this is card only. Because I bought this at Disc Replay.
This is a fantastic game.
Comic Zone.
Probably one of the better ones on the system.
Oh, dude, very, very awesome. I just played this the other day, on my phone, because I downloaded it on Sega Forever.
Nice.
Which I tried that out. Which we talked about. I think we talked about it on that episode that we did last. We talked about Sega Forever. They've added some more games. I think they added Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi. I love that game.
Cool thing about the Sega Forever games, you can hook up a Bluetooth controller and play them like that. So Comic Zone is a much different take on the side-scroller beat 'em up.
It is.
The dude in the game, he's a comic book artist.
Yes.
And he ends up getting sucked into the comic book. And so you go panel to panel, up and down. You can go side to side. You need to go to the next page, and it turns the page. And when you fight villains, they're drawn in, and then you have to fight them. It's just an awesome game. A really cool game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones of the system.
Shadowrun. I got this from Veronica as well in the big bundle. It's not in the best condition. Okay, this was the box is beat up. I haven't replaced the box. You know.
Right.
Now there's also a piece of tape back here with a Blockbuster video. This was sold on November 18th, 1999, or at least this is when it was brought in and put on the shelf.
Right.
What looks like $9.99. This game is worth about $40 to $50 now. I don't have it complete. I don't have a manual. The cartridge is a little bit rough.
But you still have it.
MA13. This game is a RPG. When you play it, it's got like the old Fallout feel, old Elder Scrolls feel,
right?
But with guns. It's definitely weird. It's set like in a futuristic tech setting, kind of like a Blade Runner,
right?
Type setting. This copy sun faded, but I just love the character of it. Now, I bought this game, not knowing what it was, because she had a whole. I did the deal with her where I bought the NES stuff from her. I bought like 19 games from her with some controllers and all that kind of stuff. And then she's like, I got the Genesis stuff too if you want it. And she gave me a deal on it, $3 a game. Everything $3. Because I bought X-Men, and I bought Earthworm Jim.
That's a fantastic game.
And I bought this, and I bought a controller. So I gave her $12 on top of the money that I gave her for the NES. Why did I buy this? I saw this and goes, this sounds familiar. Where did I see this? I had a gut, and that's only $3. So I had a gut feeling that this is something that I should buy. At some point during the year, I saw this on an episode of GameSack on YouTube. GameSack is a show where literally you have two guys, just like us sitting here, and they sit in front of a green screen and they play and review games. Trying to talk about GameSack, doggy.
Hey, you can't have that.
It's a squeaker.
I don't want to listen to that. I know. I took your toy.
I know, Petfoot. I'm sorry. If I ever get a German Shepherd, I'm naming him Rex.
He agrees. It's a good name.
Do you like that name? Anyway, the reason why I'm gonna name him Rex, I'm gonna name him like Rex from Mass Effect.
Right.
Just so I can
Fine.
Because his name's Shep. Because he's a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Go, Shepherd, Rex. Anyway. So, I went looking for this, right?
Yeah.
Doggy! We're going to power through this, damn it. You and your squeaky ass toy.
Give it back.
Anyway, yeah, so I saw it on GameSack. They play and review games.
Right.
But, they just capture their footage and they just do commentary over it. They do, a review commentary over it. And they do, half-hour episodes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, they do Focus stuff. They do Genesis stuff. They do NES stuff. They do games never made out of Japan. They get games that never were in Japan. They like the opposite. They do good arcade ports, bad arcade ports.
Right.
They do all kinds of different topics, and I ended up searching for it. And when I searched for it, one of their episodes came up. So, and I watched it and went, I saw this last year. That's where I saw this. Worth $40. I got it for $3.
Can't beat that. Now this one I was present for.
Yes, you were.
And I think I came over to you and told you that you needed to get this.
Mm-hmm. And I did. This is Mega Man, the Wily Wars. Now, this game is only available per reproduction.
Right.
Which is what this is. Now, typically, our store doesn't sell reproduction. Not the best looking reproduction either, because the sticker doesn't want to stay on.
Right.
But this is
this is the most demonic toy.
It says, it is an official Sega cart, so they obviously they recycled a Genesis cart for this. They printed their own label and they have their own custom thing. The only thing about this is that the board in here is a little bit thicker than a actual Genesis cart. You see that?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's how they all are, and then how they all are brand new, and then you keep
wear
using
down.
it. But when I put this in my system, it easily gets stuck when I'm
Yeah.
trying to get it out. I kind of feel like how you felt with the Retron. And so I'm afraid. But what I did, this was only the cart in the store. And I recycled a box that I didn't care to have a box for. I had a box game that I got from the Veronica bundle when I went back and bought all the other Genesis stuff later. Like, I want to say it was around Christmas time. I went back and I bought the Genesis that I eventually sold back to Nate.
Right.
It was there. It was at his place that I met up with Veronica, and I printed my own label and put it in here. And you know what? It's not the best print label job that I've ever done because of my printer at the time.
It'll work.
When it's on the shelf, it looks freaking fantastic. And what this is, Mega Man: The Wily Wars. It is a 16-bit Genesis port of Mega Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And so, of course, Mega Man 1, 2, and 3 on the 8-bit NES. So, yeah. And I am so surprised it took me that long to read. For use for the PAL and French systems only. Because I printed the Mega Drive version because when I went looking, I couldn't find a good-looking Genesis version.
Right.
Because it was red, and I actually liked the look of the black better. So, that'd be some of my favorite games in my Genesis collection. My small Genesis collection. I have Zombies Ain't My Neighbors. I have Earthworm Jim. I have Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. And I've got like Altered Beast and Golden Axe and Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage. I love Streets of Rage.
Which should have been in that. But, you know. What-a-do.
What-a-do, man. If you want to go out and get the cartridge, it'll play it. So, what is next on the agenda? I believe...
He says more squeaky toy.
More squeaky toy. I actually have a few articles that we're going to run through really quick here. We're going to talk about stadium events. You remember stadium events?
Yes.
Sealed copy of stadium events sells for nearly $42,000.
Holy shit.
So this article is from IGN. I'll just read it. If you have even a passing interest in the world of game collecting, you have undoubtedly have some familiarity with the with stadium events. It is the holiest of holies for Nintendo. NES system collectors, retro gaming fans without any console allegiance would drop what they're doing to get their hands on a copy. The ultra-rare copy of the game, sealed in its original shrink wrap, has been sold for $41,997. According to Kotaku, the game sold on eBay originally, but the buyer never came through with the cash. Private sale was then initiated, and the game was changed hands for the princely sum. I don't like that.
Yes.
Why the huge price for a game that isn't even that fun? For one thing, notoriety. But really, it's for people looking for a complete collection.
And how many of these, does it say how many copies are made in the U.S.? I believe I know.
Estimated 200 or so copies of the game were ever sold in North America, so even a loose copy of the game sells for really high. Finding a copy in box is even more rare. Finding one in the original shrink wrap.
This is unbelievable.
And the seller had the game rated and graded.
Right.
And it is looking at a rating of 85 out of 100.
That's really good for how old the game is,
Mm-hmm.
and it being an original box and shrink wrap.
This article references a buyer that happened across a complete copy of Stadium Events for $8. She later sold it for an online auction for much, much more. Now, there's also, I heard one on the All Gen Gamers podcast where she bought it for like 50 cents.
Oh, the one that bought it from a yard sale?
Yeah.
Yep.
For 50 cents. The dude had a game store or game collection, just selling it all, and they were selling it for 50 cents a game.
He had a store, and that store went out of business, and he never sold all of his merchandise, so he had it up in the attic.
Well,
and then they
a lot of
bought
that stuff was
boxes.
stuff that he bought for the collection that he was going to sell in the store.
Right.
And just never got around to it. So we have another article here talking about Doom.
Doom.
Now I think we talked about Doom when it first came out. Of course, that came out I think about a year ago May.
Something like that, yeah.
Doom update 6.66.
Huh.
Wink. Scrap season pass. All DLC is free.
Well, that sucks for those that bought the season pass.
Right. Bethesda is ditching the season pass for Doom and giving away all multiplayer DLC content for free.
Do that for Fallout.
Please.
Or just make us a Game of the Year edition.
Right.
I'd be really excited.
The move comes in unison with the game's newest update and appropriately dubbed Update 666. It is available today, or like a week ago, if you're listening to this on launch of this episode. We've retired the Doom Season Pass and are making all multiplayer DLC content available to all players, explains Doom game director Marty Stratton. That's 3 multiplayer DLC packs, which include 9 of our best maps, 3 additional guns, 3 additional playable demons, new equipment, armor sets, and more. That's on top of the modes and features like bot support that the players have been enjoying since the last year. The team also overhauled the multiplayer progression system, so instead of the previous random unlock arrangement, players can now work towards earning specific items by completing in-game challenges. Additionally, the hack module system has been replaced with an all-new rune system. No idea what any of this means.
Yeah, me neither. I hear it's a great game, though.
I've heard it's absolutely fantastic. Bethesda is hosting a free weekend for Doom kicking off this Thursday. That's today as we record this.
Yeah.
By the time this episode launches next week, you'll have missed it. On the Xbox One and PC. And next Thursday for the PS4. So if you're watching this and listening to this on launch day, this weekend, PS3 or PS4, you can play Doom for free online. During which new players will be able to rip and tear through the first 2 levels of the campaign. Oh, so you have to download the whole game. And you just have like a trial thing. And have unlimited access to Doom's multiplayer.
Only for the weekend, though, right?
Yeah, only for the weekend. Those keen to buy afterwards can do so for the digital price of $14.99.
That's not bad at all.
Hell no.
I'm not a digital guy, and I know that you're not, but for $14 for a great... I mean, I've only heard good things. If you like Doom, if you like any of that kind of stuff, that's like the pinnacle of Doom.
I'm not against digital buys. I would just rather have it on...
Right.
On hard copy.
But for $14, $15. I mean,
when you get stuff on sale like that, or like if stuff is like cheap like that,
it's hard to not buy them.
It is hard not to not buy it, because then it's like, you know what, I want to test this out before I actually go and buy a hard copy for my collection.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of games that I have a digital copy of that I still haven't got a hard copy of, like the RPG of Game of Thrones. I got that for free on PS Plus and just haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, I bought that.
There are, however, a couple of digital-only games that are getting a physical release here soon.
What games would those be?
The second Mega Man Legacy Collection has been announced.
Yes.
And what you're going to get, Mega Man 7, that was on the Super Nintendo. Mega Man 8, which was on the PS1 and Sega Saturn. And then Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10, which were only available digitally for the PS3 and 360.
Yeah.
And what the Mega Man 9 and 10 took it back to 8-bit NES era, where you have 7 and 8 are more of the 16 and 32-bit, upgrades to the
right.
Mega Man. Then you go to 9 and it's like, all right, we're going to go back to old school. So that is freaking awesome, because you have the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1, which is 1 through 6, 8-bit.
Right.
And then you go 7 and 8, which are the up-res, and then the regrade, the retro grades. But it's awesome because you finally get a physical copy of the 9 and 10, which are great, fantastic games.
Yes.
But I didn't even plan to talk about that until I read that today. So I'm very, very, very excited to see that news. I believe I have one more thing to talk about. Only one. Actually, you know what? We can talk about it while I'm getting it set up. Splatoon launches soon.
Yes.
Splatoon 2, and Nintendo has preemptively you can download the Nintendo Online app on your phone and be ready to go for that, because of how they do their chat system.
It's better than what we had before, which was none.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it.
No.
But I believe that
eventually
it's going to they're gonna cave.
Japan finally got the first video streaming app going on the Switch. I don't know what one it was, some Japanese one, but yeah,
everything just says restricted.
Well, here's the thing: is that
sorry, you cannot stream Splatoon.
Well, no. like the video streaming app for not for like Twitch. What I mean is for like watching Netflix and stuff like that.
Oh.
It's not necessarily needed for a game console, but in today's and age, it's like every single piece of technology has to play these things.
When you think about it, though, the Switch being mobile, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Because if you have access to Wi-Fi,
mm-hmm.
boom, you have a tablet to watch stuff on.
Yep.
It's a great system. It truly is. Actually, a guy at work, you don't know him, but he's been working on our robots. He brought a Switch in today.
Hmm.
He just showed me, but he says that he's quite a ways from home, so he brought it, and he's just been playing the shit out of it in his hotel room. But he's like, I love it. He said, he's told me I do not buy new consoles. I do what I'm going to do and do the computer and basically the Raspberry Pi style. And he's like, I saw this, and I was like, this is a great idea. And he bought it, and he absolutely loves it.
Awesome.
So,
last bit of news. BioWare.
Oh, yes.
Did you read it?
I have not. I wanted to have the genuine reaction.
BioWare general manager steps down.
Yeah.
Aaron Flynn, the general manager of Mass Effect Dragon Age developer BioWare, has announced he's stepping down from the company after 17 years.
Yeah.
Casey Hudson, project director and of the original Mass Effect, is returning to BioWare to take a spot. He left BioWare back in 2014, maybe 2013, 2014, and he went to go work for Microsoft.
Right.
And now he is back in BioWare.
So what does this say for us?
Flynn and Hudson made their individual announcements. I believe this is the first one is from Flynn. From my first day until now, I've learned much, met great colleagues and friends, and got the chance to help give players some truly incredible experiences. Every time I think I found a favorite game-making experience, we found something new and somehow find fun and satisfaction in new challenges. He then explained in the post that he had been considering making changes in his life for a while, and Hudson's willingness to return offered him the opportunity to do just that. So it sounds like this wasn't just like he wasn't just going to step down and leave them high and dry. He was going to make sure that someone was in place to take a spot.
Right.
So this has got to have been something that was reached out and talked about before a final decision was made. And Hudson will be working with Flynn to assist him in the transition of power in the company. Hudson, I was right. Hudson originally left BioWare in 2014 and later announced in 2015 that he had joined Microsoft Studios as creative director with a focus on HoloLens. The director of the first 3 Mass Effect titles explained that in his post that the last few years have been transformative for me, from having time to reflect on what I do most want to do, to working with new technologies at platform scale. Now I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to return and lead BioWare, a studio that I think of as home.
It's not a bad move.
No.
It's gonna stay at its roots.
He continues, I'd like to wish my good friend Aaron Flynn the very best in the future. BioWare continues to hold a special magic full of profoundly talented people and an aspiring creative energy. When I look at the stunning progress Aaron and their team has made with Anthem and the other projects in the works, I truly believe that our best is yet to come.
I can't wait for Anthem.
So I mean, it's obvious that Anthem has been like it's so far in development that him coming in is not going to change anything. Now,
well, and it's going to stay at what he's good at.
Yeah. Now Hudson, I don't think he was directing Mass Effect Andromeda. I want to say he was in a producer role for Andromeda when it was in development while he was still there, and then he ended up leaving. And there was multiple people who ended up leaving BioWare at the time. And so some people are thinking, like, what does this mean? What is he going to come in and save Mass Effect? Is he going to come in and save BioWare? Think about it like this. BioWare is most renownedly known for making good games, if not great games.
Right.
I mean, you just look back, KOTOR. Look back, some of the Mass Effects, Dragon Age Origins. It doesn't take much to find greatness in BioWare.
It's true.
But then, they have a couple hiccups. Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 3. Great game until you get to the end, according to a lot of folks.
Yeah, to a lot of folks.
And then you get Inquisition, I thought was fantastic.
That's an amazing game.
And then you get to Andromeda, which is not a bad game.
No.
It's a good game, but it has a lot of faults. And those faults are primarily, of course, due to such a rushed delivery time based on... It seemed like they were always trying to shoot too high, do this, and then when that didn't work, let's do this, that didn't work, let's do this. So then you end up with a 14-month development cycle for a game, which is hard
in nowadays figures that's not good.
Like they rushed it, and it ended up suffering because of it. And honestly, when you consider everything, they put out a fucking fantastic game in 14 months.
Yeah.
But its flaws were so evident in the first few hours that anybody who's going to try this game out or review it, that's all they're going to see.
Yep.
So then by the time you get in a game that's like a 100-hour plus RPG, when you get to that greatness, or that kernel of nugget of greatness in this game, most people have already turned it off.
Yeah, they're already sour.
So, what does that mean? Do I think he's going to save BioWare? Does it need saving?
No.
I don't think so. But a lot of people just consider it such a letdown that Andromeda wasn't what it was supposed to be. And you know what? As long as you come back in with Andromeda, I still feel like that the players of this game, the people who bought this game, the people who believe in that game, the people who supported it, they deserve to have that DLC that they have not confirmed or denied that they're working on.
Yeah.
Because it's not completely off the table. Now, originally it was said Mass Effect is on ice, so to speak. Or is it? We don't know. I could definitely say that we're not going to see a new entry for a while because we are going to see the new Anthem game.
Yeah.
We're going to see probably a new Dragon Age before we'd even see another Mass Effect. Probably see another Anthem sequel before we see another Mass Effect.
I got my tail. He's just spinning around in circles.
But I mean, if you come in and you
Hey, quit it.
Puppy Dog, we're trying to talk about Mass Effect. It's one of my favorite games.
It's not what it is.
How dare you. Hudson is not going to come in and he's not going to just save the day. But he is, in a lot of ways, the right guy. A lot of people blame Hudson for the Mass Effect 3's ending, for scrapping the original ending after it supposedly got leaked and making a new ending. Casey Hudson's also responsible for being the director of Mass Effect 2.
Right.
One of the greatest games, in my opinion, of all time. So it's very funny. It's like, you do something great. Yeah, you do something wrong. You're terrible.
Yep.
Video game fans and gamers can be so cynical at times. I feel like Hudson's the perfect guy for this because it puts him in a position of, in the company that he grew up in games with, to be in a role of oversight and of trying to change, not necessarily change direction of the company, but guide it.
Right.
Guide it to where he thinks is best. And maybe that does include a new Mass Effect game down the line. Maybe it doesn't right now. Maybe it isn't right yet. Maybe it's right to let it kind of, okay, it's out there, we did it. And then you look at, well, let's come back to it when it's time, and let's do it right.
Yeah.
Unlike Andromeda, which wasn't right. Hopefully they're doing everything right with Anthem. Because
Looks like it.
It really does. I mean, when you look at the main team of BioWare, how many times have they messed up Mass Effect 3's ending? Wow, when you look at the list of games that team has developed, I mean, you're scratching at greatness.
Yeah.
It's just, sure, they've had a few faults, but they're not putting out complete crap, and there's such a lash. And where the name of BioWare used to stand for quality, a lot of people blame the purchase of BioWare by EA as like the cheetah point. Is like they haven't made anything great since then. I actually disagree because, I mean, there's Inquisition.
Yes.
Mass Effect 2 was in development before the EA acquisition. So that was released published by EA, but you look at Mass Effect 3, it's a great game. You know, and then again, I just watched a video the other night about certain scenes in Andromeda that are like the most advanced facial animations you've ever seen in a game that it was criticized for having very bad facial animations and being like having very dead NPC characters.
Yeah.
And the dude dissected the love scene with Cora and how like just everything in that scene, the subtleties and everything, were just something that even beyond some of the other games that are out now.
Right.
You know, and then you look at something else and it's like there's really a lapse of quality in the overall arcing. That the quality in that scene is not the same as here, you know.
Right.
But of course then I mean you're looking at like a love scene where they really are putting a lot of attention towards that. And they're not putting a lot of attention towards interaction with Addison, who has like the most dead face you've ever seen. But then what was also gone through was a lot of the patch fixes. And apparently the game now is not the same game as launch as far as like the things that a lot of people were complaining about. So I still think it's worthy of a playthrough. Not a replay through yet. Not for me. Down the line, I will. Especially if you guys release a Quarian DLC.
Yeah.
You release that Quarian DLC, buddy, I will be replaying that in advance to be prepped for launch day of that DLC. Because I love the Quarians. I love the story of the Quarians. I love the Geth. And if Quarians are coming, you gotta sneak a few Geth on board. Damn it. There's gotta be some Geth on here.
Yeah.
But then you have, come on, to bring in the Elcor. They're bringing the little Volus.
The Volus.
In fact, in the multiplayer, they added Batarians, which did not come over, but they're there. So it's like you don't see a single Batarian in the main story, but they're in multiplayer. So there's a story reason why they're there.
They're gonna be. There will be.
I think there will be, and I'm looking forward to seeing whatever else they decide to do with it. Whether or not, I don't think putting out an average game, average to good game, is worthy of them abandoning it.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't. See, the problem with EA is that they want the big numbers.
Yep. They only care about numbers.
They want the big numbers. And Andromeda sold around Mass Effect 3 numbers. It sold 3-4 million copies. That's good. It's not great. It's not what they want. I don't think that the stumble of Andromeda, a stumble's not worthy of just being thrown into the fire and being taken out back and put down.
Yeah.
It's worthy to put out a second game and go, they got this right.
This is what it
should have been. And this is what it now is.
Right.
And then Andromeda is going to be like, you know what? It's kind of rough to go back to that, but it shows you the progression. So I hope that is the story, and I hope that is, and I wish Casey Hudson all the best of luck for taking over BioWare. And it'll be very interesting to see his influence on these projects. Obviously, it won't be Anthem. He's not going to have much to do with that. That game's already pretty well far along in development. But after that, you know, what's going on with Dragon Age? What's going on with Mass Effect, if anything? Hopefully we get some news on that, because they're trying to stay away from that, and they're trying to, like, we announced Anthem, let's hype Anthem. People are hyped about this. People are not so hyped about Mass Effect.
Right.
Like, you need, if they are going to do it, tell us and let us know that the Quarian stuff is coming. If that's even what they're doing, because they hinted at it. But especially if you are not planning on doing another game in the Andromeda setting, give us that Quarian DLC.
Right.
Give us that. Give us that little bit of extra to help put a bow on that, because there's so many, and maybe also some to wrap up some other things that they didn't finish.
Right.
So, my friends, I think that is it for today. I don't really think there's much else to talk about on our end. Of course, I haven't watched it yet, but the release of Castlevania, the animated series, is now on Netflix. The first 4 episodes are up. I heard it is really good.
I didn't watch that.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to. But as far as, like, there's not really a whole lot of news. Oh, wait, there's one more thing we forgot forgot to talk about.
What's that?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about that really quick. The trailer reveal for the new world.
Toy Story.
Toy Story. Holy crap. Pixar World now. Making its debut in the Kingdom Hearts series. And I absolutely loved it. It was really weird and jarring to hear a Japanese Buzz and Woody.
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
But holy crap, I love the way it looked.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way it captured the feel of Toy Story. And that's what's always cool about Kingdom Hearts. You go to these worlds, and you're in that world. And with 3 being the first one on modern consoles, the level of detail that they can put in,
it's phenomenal.
It's awesome, and I cannot wait. And the only thing is that getting voice actors for those roles that whether you have prominent actors in is tough.
Yeah.
Because for Genie with Robin Williams, they got to sound alike.
Yeah.
Because and it's noticeable. It's not bad. And then also for Jack Sparrow, when they did the Pirates World, it's a sound alike. But and then same with Eddie Murphy in the Mulan World. Wushu, is that his name?
I believe.
They got to sound alike. So it is what it is because you can't pay all these big time actors to come in and reprise the role just for 2-3 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, you're talking about Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's big money.
Tom Hanks.
Tim Allen.
You're not getting them.
Big
Maybe
money.
you could get some of the smaller guys, some smaller actors from the Toy Story, like I have the dude that plays the dinosaur.
Rex,
yeah. The dude from he's the guy from Princess Bride. The Inconceivable.
Oh, I haven't seen those, so.
You've never seen Princess Bride?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
It's a fun movie. It is a fun movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Wow. Okay, so I saw a video where they replaced Owen Wilson's.
Yes.
Or they used Owen Wilson's "wow" in place of like lightsaber noises.
Yep.
It's like wow. But anyway.
And then the one that's like wow.
Anyway, guys, thank you for checking out this episode. Episode 40 of Game Addicts. We'll be back to you real soon. This guy's going on a little journey of a shift change.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out when and where we can record, but we'll try and figure that out. That way we don't really miss too much action from you here. We're going to try and be at you every week here on the Game Addicts podcast. So you guys check us out on social media. Check us out on Game Addicts Play on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook. We got some likes. Thanks.
Yes.
Nate. He pimped us out and got us some likes on Facebook. I'm trying to post more. Check us out on Instagram at Game Addicts Podcast. And you can check us out in audio form. Yeah, take us with you on the go. Put us on your phone. Listen to us while you're stuck in traffic or while you're on the commute. You can check us out on iTunes or on Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play Music, and of course on YouTube. We have the camera set up. You can check us out. We got the games. We have a green screen that we've used before. We're going to use more later on down the line.
Once I'm set up fully.
Yeah, once we get set up, and it does increase some production time, but. That's not really the reason why we didn't use it today. It was like I worked 10 hours. I don't want to set that thing up today.
Yeah, it is a pain to set up. It does take a good 15, 20 minutes to get it right.
And so it was like, let's just set up and go. It is what it is. We got our games. We show these.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. Check us out on all the stuff I said before. I already did all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we'll see you next time here on the Game Addicts Podcast. Until then. I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
We'll see you later.